with your platform and just the status that you hold as, one of the faces of the NFL right now, just how have you worked through the challenge of understanding the scope of all the different things that are happening right now and ways that people could help, while figuring out for you specifically how you want to help and how you want to push forward and trying to make change?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've done is just lean on people that I respect, who I believe done it the right way. And I've been lucky enough to grow up with a lot of great role models around me, and just trying to find and listen to them as they talk to me, and then other people around the league who I feel like I've done it the right way, and listen to the advice they give me, and then trying to make the best informed decision as far as what I do and the next steps I take to move forward. Because, like you said, I've been given this platform, and I want to make sure that I can do whatever I can to make the world a better place in whichever way that is.
Let's go to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. Hey, Patrick. Thanks for the time. Can you name names on that? I'm just following up on your answer there to BJ. Can you, like, who specifically did you talk to that you respect? And is this something you plan on doing more of going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I'll name a couple. I don't want to name everybody. There's a lot of them.
Sure.
I mean, obviously I talked to those guys in the video, like Michael Thomas. I've talked to my godfather, LaTroy Hawkins. I've talked to my father. And then I've talked to coaches and people that I respect, like Coach Reed, and really just got as much information as I possibly can. And there's several others of people I talk to that I get advice from every single day. And I try to do that as I make any decision and do whatever it is that I end up doing.
Let's go to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Patrick, hope you're doing well today. Understanding that there's a lot of voices and a lot of players involved in this player movement right now, but none of them are you, and none of us quite accomplished at your age what you've accomplished in your career. Are you aware of what kind of weight your presence lends to the cause here?
Yeah, I'm definitely aware. I'm aware of everything. I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm aware of coming off a Super Bowl championship and being the quarterback of a Super Bowl winning team. But I've always believed in people, and I've always believed in when people do things together and do things for the right reasons and have a good heart when they do it, that things get done and change happens. And so that's how I've grown up. Like I kind of said in my statement, I've grown up in a locker room, so I've seen how people have come together and strive for a certain goal and to go do things. And I believe that if people have the right intentions and have the right heart and come together, that they can really affect the world and make it a better place.
Let's go to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold. Oh, Harold, you got us?
We got it now, Brett?
Yep, we got you, Harold. Go ahead.
Patrick, you hear me good?
Yep.
All right, man. Well, hey, I just wanted to ask you, going further with this message that you sent, what would kind of be your message to some of the young people that look up to you now that you're in a position where you're looked at as a MVP and a champion? What's your message to the young people that have to deal with some of these things with racial inequality, and maybe their dealings with the police, something through your past that you may have gone through that was dealt with in a racially motivated way? What's your message to them that look up to you to say, hey, I'm going to get through this and I'm going to try to make myself better, and see how you're bringing people together to come back and make a better place?
I would say to do the same thing that I've done my entire life, and that is to talk to the people that have taught them their values and have taught them the right way to do things, and listen to them, because they've had those experiences. And I'm 24 years old, so I'm maturing and learning things as I go. But I've learned a lot from people like my dad and LaTroy Hawkins and Coach Reed, and learned that there's ways to handle things in order to get your point across and to respect people and do the right thing. But you have to learn and have your own experiences to do that. And so just taking as much information as you can, making the best informed decision that you believe you can make, and try to do whatever you can to make the world a better place in every action that you take.
Let's go to Bob Fesco. Go ahead, Bob.
Patrick, you've kind of gone from the leader of a franchise winning a Super Bowl to now basically the leader, the face of the National Football League. How do you kind of view your responsibility as now as the face and the leader of the entire league?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's always been about just being the best person and the best teammate and the best friend that I can be with whoever I interact with. That's what I was taught at a young age from my mom, and then from my dad, and from everybody around me, is treat people the right way, and usually you get treated the same. And if it doesn't happen, keep your head up high and head held high, and just go out there and be the best person you can be in every instant. And if that's on the football field, or if that's listening to one of your best friends talk about their feelings or whatever it is, just be the best role model, the best person that you can be, and all the other things will handle itself.
Let's go to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve. Steve, you got us?
Can you
There
hear
you
me?
go. Yep,
Can
we
you hear
got you.
All right, cool. Hey, Patrick. Hey, a lot of guys in the league have said that they wish they would have done things differently in support of Colin Kaepernick, but they were scared to do so at the time just because of, how they would be viewed by fans, ownership, potential sponsors, and so forth.
I lost
But
I lost you there for a second.
can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you again. Say again.
Hey, a lot of guys in the league have said they wish they would have done things differently in support of Colin Kaepernick, but they were scared to do so at the time because of how they would be viewed by fans, ownership, potential sponsors, and so forth. Leading up to your statement that you made via social media and also the Black Lives Matters video, did you have a concern of any possible backlash that, what fans have said, and have you seen anything, both positive and negative?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with every decision that you make, there's going to be positive and negatives, and that is the world that we live in today. But I believe, in both my statement and the video that I made, that stuff needed to be said. We needed to come together as a group, as players, and show that we believe that Black Lives Matter, and that we believe that this needs to be informed, and we need to be the role models to go out there and take that step. And obviously, it was great to find the support that we have gotten from the Chiefs, for me, from Coach Reed, from Clark Hunt, Mark Donovan. I've talked to Roger Goodell, and he has shown his support to us. But it's something where I'm always going to be informed of my decision and understand that there's going to be good and there's going to be bad. But if I believe something and I truly believe it, I'm gonna, like Coach Reed says, let my personality show, and I'm gonna stand behind my words, and I'm gonna take whatever consequences that comes with it, and hopefully they're positive. But I'm gonna be the best person that I can be first, whatever that is.
Let's go to Blair Kirchhoff. Go ahead, Blair.
Hey, Patrick, I just wanted to know what you made of the Drew Brees, 48-hour period, the change of heart, and what that says about him.
Yeah, I mean, I know Drew. I've known Drew for a pretty long time, just being from Texas, and I know that he is a good person and he has a good heart. And obviously, his statement missed the point and missed what was going on in the world today, and took away attention from the movement that was going on and the peaceful protesting that was going on. But I think you see with his actions afterwards, and I believe with his actions moving forward, you will see the true person that he is, and how much he cares about his community and how much he cares about the people that he's around. And I mean, time will tell, but I've known from every interaction that I've had with him that he's always shown me the utmost respect, and I believe that his actions will show that as we continue to move forward.
Let's go to Herbie. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Patrick, I appreciate you taking the time with us to discuss all these matters here. You mentioned a lot of the support that you had, and unfortunately in today's society, you're also going to have your share of the detractors. What would you say to the stick to sports crowd to make them open their ears and hear their message?
Yeah, I would just say that you have to believe that we are people too. And I feel like those people have kids, and they understand that their kids can play sports, and their kids could possibly be in the same position that we're in, and they would want their kids to show their heart and show who they truly are, and try to affect the world in the most positive way possible. And that's what we believe that we're doing. And so obviously we know that not everyone agrees with everything that you're going to say, but just know that when we say stuff, we mean it and we care, and we want to make the world the best place for our future kids and for generations to come behind us.
Let's go to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Patrick. Hope you're doing well. I have two questions for you. The first being that Andy Reid a little bit ago said that you and Tyron are trying to work together on creating a voter registration program. Can you just share as many details as you have as of now? And then why was that the first step that you guys wanted to make as part of this movement?
Yeah, and I think it came from talking and listening to teammates and people just throughout our organization, and obviously with the voting coming up as far as local offices and everything like that, we wanted to make sure that was on the front of our mind. We've talked about several things, nothing that is completely informed in stone, but voter registration was one big one that we really want to move forward with. And so we've had initial talks with Clark, and we've talked with Mark Donovan, and we've set up a meeting for next week with our committee and with a lot of the players that are kind of the leaders on our team, and we're going to try to find the best way to give money or support or whatever it is to get as many people registered to vote, and so they can go in and try to affect change in every way that they feel possible.
All right, guys, we've got 4 hands up. We'll try to buzz through these real quick. So Len Jennings, let's go to Len. Go ahead, Len.
Patrick, thanks for taking the time to speak with us. You mentioned recently about your social media posts. You talked about the team in the locker room, and I believe it's the same post that you also mentioned your parents. Was there maybe a conversation you had when you were a kid, but maybe you realized that something wasn't quite right, where you had a conversation with your parents, and what have they done for you as you go forward with this huge endeavor? Maybe some advice that you get from them going forward.
Yeah, I think I always reference back to it in a lot of different situations, and I've talked about it today. But I never had a talk or like kind of how people have had with their dads or their parents about being Black and the inequalities that you could possibly have. And I was blessed to be in a smaller town, a smaller hometown where everybody kind of knew who I was, and I never was put in a situation where I felt like I was not getting the same privileges as someone else. But as I've grown older, I've learned about it, and through having a Black side of my family, and I've seen how they feel about it, and I've talked to people like that are on that side of the family, and I've also talked to people that are on my mom's side of the family, and I just feel like I have a great perspective of how people feel and how the Black community feels of how they don't feel like they get the same I guess rights and value in some situations. And so my job, I feel like having my platform is to do whatever I can to just bring those feelings to light and let the rest of the world understand how people feel, and so that we can be a better community and a better world together.
All right, we're going to go Darren, Thurin, and then Pete. Go ahead, Darren.
Hey, Patrick. First things first, man. When you do the voter registration, I've ran political campaigns on the national side. I hope I get a chance to work with you and the players on this. But it's a 2-part question. I want to know, could you take us through your thought process from when you first saw the video, murder of George Floyd taking place, to when you decided to make your initial statement on last Monday? And then what decision-making went with you being a part of the Black Lives Matter video? And then I'll follow up after you answer that question.
Yeah, I mean, the first part of your question, I can't watch the entire George Floyd video through and through. I've watched it in parts, but it hurts me too much to my soul to see him and feel like I can't help. I can't do anything to help the situation that happened, the horrible situation that happened where George Floyd got murdered. But to me, it just affected me knowing that I have people in my family who have been in and out of jail, and that could have been put in that situation. And that's where it took me, is that could have been one of my family members, and that could have been someone that I cared about. And I know how much hurt that his family must be feeling, or I can't even understand it, honestly. But that was, I wanted to sit back and listen. I didn't want to act off of anger. I didn't want to act off of hurt. I wanted to listen and make the best informed decision that I think I could to help the world, help the community with my platform. So I felt like that was my first where I kind of came up with my statement of trying to unite and show love to everybody. And then when I got the video, Michael Thomas actually sent me the video and the script. And I loved the idea, and I wanted to just get every piece of information that I could on it. And I called everybody that I really trust and talked to them about it, and decided that I really felt like I needed to be in this video, and I needed to show my support to unite with the players and show that we care. And that's kind of how we came to make that video. And obviously the NFL has came back and shown and made a video to kind of support what we said, and we think that's the first step, but we want to make sure that it leads to action, and it leads to different things that we can go out in the community and do to make the world a better place.
couple of things. I will say on behalf of the Black community, we do appreciate you speaking up and speaking out. There were questions before, but your participation in that video spoke volumes to us. But going back to this particular, what about this particular murder caused you to speak up and out? Obviously, Ahmaud Arbery happened in February. The video came out in May. Breonna Taylor murder took place in March. But why this one and why now?
Yeah, I think it was just kind of a accumulation of just seeing all of this happen and wanting it to stop and wanting us to find a better way of preventing these instances to happen. And it's not that one of them was more significant than the other. It was just all of it happening, and then me feeling like enough is enough. We gotta do something about this. And I'm blessed to have this platform. Why not use it? And I feel like I've gotten older, and I know I'm still young. I've learned a lot, and I think that was one of the things I know I have this platform. I know not everyone will agree with it, but I'm gonna do my best to make the world a better place, and this is the right moment to do it.
All right, Sarin, let's go to Sarin. Go ahead.
Patrick, thank you for your time. I'm curious. Very quickly, Roger Goodell responded to the players' video. And that's a new approach from what happened when Colin Kaepernick led the kneeling protests, the peaceful protests that happened the last time. That's great that the words were there in support of what you guys are talking about, but actions have to follow, right? I know Coach Reed, and we've discussed the voter registration that you're talking about, but in your mind, there are a number of players that have talked about that they're going to kneel when the games start again. In your mind, there was a lot of blowback from the owners last time. If the owners are not allowing that, even embracing a peaceful protest on the field in that manner, is there really change from the owners in the league? And furthermore, have you spoken with Colin Kaepernick? And can we say that the league has really changed if Colin Kaepernick does not have a job in the NFL this year?
I have not had the chances to speak with Colin Kaepernick, but I think, like I said earlier, I believe in people, and from every conversation that I've had since that videos came out, everybody has shown support of us, and we talked about peacefully protesting, and we talked about finding ways to fund social injustice programs and initiatives, and from Roger Goodell to Clark Hunt to Mark Donovan to players around the league, I feel like everybody has that same passion and wants to make this thing right and to do it the right way. And so I feel like I'm gonna give everybody those chance. I'm gonna give everybody a chance. I mean, obviously, action is gonna have to happen. We're gonna have to make sure that we do go out and we make things happen within our community. If players kneel on the field, they have the support of the team behind them, and I think that's just something that we're gonna have to see. I mean, obviously, a lot of talk. We've talked and we've peacefully protested in the communities and everything like that, but until people go out there and action happens and change happens, we won't know for sure. But I'm very excited for the opportunity to go out there and be a part of it and be a part of the change that's going to happen in our community.
Okay, let's go to Pete Sweeney to close us out. Go ahead, Pete.
Pat, thanks for taking some time with us. I have two things. Just on the field, I was wondering just how much time do you really need in your mind to be week one ready with so many uncertainties? I'm just curious, is it 2 games? Is it 3 or 4 weeks of a Andy Reid training camp? And then again, with all these off the field matters, I was just curious if you have ever given any thought to whether or not you plan to peacefully protest during the national anthem this fall.
Yeah, I mean, first off, on the field, I feel like I've been staying in pretty great shape. Obviously, we haven't been at practicing and doing those things, but I mean, as of right now, it looks like we're on the right track to get there and be in training camp and doing those things. But I've been throwing with guys, I've been working out with guys, I've been doing whatever I can to stay ready, knowing that we're missing these OTAs and we're missing these mini camps and everything like that. But I'm excited to get back with those guys and get back working and being ready as soon as possible, knowing that the season will come quick. And as far as kneeling, I've never thought that the kneeling, it's not about who kneels and who doesn't kneel. It's about having the right to peacefully protest and to recognize that social injustices are happening and that racial inequality does happen every single day. And I just want the community to be somewhere where everybody, including Black people, feel like they can go into the community and be safe. And whatever way that is, whatever actions that we can take to do that, it's all about doing that as quickly as possible.
Patrick, we appreciate you taking the time today. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, if you want to sit tight, we're going to have Tyron come your way here in a couple